Hey brothers, what's going on? JK, your brother in this struggle here, on my way back from the gym. I want to talk briefly about having control over your reboot. Now, one of the important concepts in the porn reboot system is what I call recovery time, preferably done in the morning. It simply means putting aside a certain amount of time, a fixed time, for working on your out of control behavior. See, typically we try to use willpower or even use some good tools or strategies that we have access to. We try to use them throughout the day, but only when it's almost too late, when we're already experiencing our urges. And I found personally that when I put aside a certain time during the day, again, like I said, during the morning, to reflect on how far I've come, the mistakes I made, maybe the mistakes I made in my reboots that week, the boundaries that I may have crossed, where my urges came from. Like, okay, what was the thought process behind this? It doesn't take too much time, guys. You've just got to put aside that time to reflect. What happens is that you start controlling your life and you start controlling your reboots. I always call this an out of control behavior. Out of your control. And all we're trying to do here in the porn reboot system is get it under your control again. A lot of men ask me about, well, JK, what about that 1.5 to 2 years that it takes to rewire your brain? I think when you worry or obsess about that, you're thinking way too far ahead, right? The most important thing at this present moment is control. And one of the easiest ways to get control is to actually know what was happening in the past, what is happening right now. Again, by the past, I don't mean your root cause. I mean what happened yesterday, what happened last week, what happened after your last slip. Because over time, you develop the ability to predict what is going to happen to you in the future. It's common sense. You see the patterns, right? So you're like, okay, if I keep doing this, then this is gonna happen. If I eat a lot of sugar or carbs, I'm gonna crash. If I go to sleep late at night, I'm gonna feel this way. If I watch a Netflix series that has too many sex scenes, then the next day I might be turned on. If I play video games for a long time, then I completely lose my interest in going back to my work. If I go to the gym at a certain time, I'll see all the girls who are dressed a certain way, and that's gonna trigger me. All these things, and there's so many things. When you reflect on them, at the end of the day, you become the player, right? You are now in control. And the big problem is you're playing chess, right? But instead of being the player, you're the chess piece, right? And many of you are walking around so full of yourself, right? Like, oh, I do no fab, I practice semen retention, you know? This whole time you think you're a player, but at the end of the day, you're just a chess piece. You are not in control of anything, right? Your out of control behavior, your pain, your stress, your strong emotions, even the root cause, the trauma from your past, all those things come together to form what we call your addict. Your addict, that little voice in your head, and that's what's playing the game. So the purpose of this is to become the player in the chess game. I don't even know how this came into the chess analogy. I don't even play chess. But you guys get what I'm talking about, all right? So the point of this video is step into control. Become mindful of what is going on. And the easiest way to do it is not to do it in the moment. The easiest way to do it is to put aside. That's all you got to do. Put aside time each day. When I started meditating, I practice a form of meditation called vipassana meditation. When I started doing that, I had this notion that I would become ultra mindful and walk through my day just being very aware of all the sensations I was feeling, and I would be aware in the moment of my addicts trying to tell me to like check out that girl's ass. And in that moment, I'd be able to have a logical, rational conversation with it. None of that shit worked. Right? I'm not saying it doesn't work with practice over many years, but when I was starting out, it was just so much easier for me to be like, dude, set a timer, 45 minutes, sit down, recovery time, get this done. and that anchored my day. All right, enough said. That's my message for you guys today. If you are not a subscriber to the channel, please do subscribe. Click on the little bell icon because you want to know when I release videos. I know you guys are following a bunch of other people, but you're not going to see my wonderful tips and tricks. I'm kidding, I don't give tricks. You're not going to see my wonderful videos if you don't click on that little bell icon to get notifications. All right, so do that. In the YouTube app, go to notifications and turn on subscriptions. In the settings, go to notifications and scroll to the YouTube app and allow notifications. And if you're at a point where you're just like, you know what, I need help. I need to talk to somebody. I am so alone doing this. I am living in shame. It hurts. And I just need to speak to somebody who understands what I'm going through and who can maybe just give me a little bit of direction when it comes to what I'm doing. All right. You don't have to work with me, but you might want to get on a call with me or someone on my team and be like, hey guys, so I've made progress, but I feel like I'm missing something. So there's a link to schedule a call to chat about where you are in your journey in the link in the description below, okay? And we'll talk to you then. Take care, and I'll speak to you later on in the week.